Have you ever felt like you're just waiting for something big to happen? Like you're on the edge of your seat, anticipating a major event? Today, we're diving into a powerful story that Jesus told, a story about waiting, about being prepared, and about what it truly means to be ready for the most important moment of all. It's found in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, and it's known as the parable of the 10 virgins. Imagine this. 10 young women, all bridesmaids, are waiting for a wedding feast to begin. This isn't just any party. In their culture, a wedding was a massive, multi-day celebration, and the arrival of the bridegroom was the main event. So these 10 bridesmaids are all gathered, lamps in hand, waiting to light the way for the groom and join the incredible celebration. Jesus begins, "Then the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom." All 10 of them had the same goal, the same invitation. They all looked the part. They all had lamps. On the surface, they all seemed equally ready for the big moment. But here's where the story takes a turn. Jesus tells us 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. What made the difference? It wasn't their clothes, their enthusiasm, or their presence. It was something they carried with them, something hidden from plain sight. For when the foolish took their lamps, they took no oil with them, but the wise took flasks of oil with their lamps. Think about that for a second. The wise bridesmaids understood something crucial. Waiting can take longer than you expect. They knew their lamps needed fuel, and they came prepared for the long haul. They didn't just plan for the immediate moment, they planned for the what if. They had a reserve. The foolish bridesmaids, on the other hand, were operating on a short-term plan. They had their lamps lit, looking good for the moment, but they had no backup. They assumed the bridegroom would arrive quickly and they wouldn't need anything extra. Their preparation was superficial. It was just for show. And as you might guess, the bridegroom was delayed. The story says, as the bridegroom was delayed, they all became drowsy and slept. This is so relatable, isn't it? In our own lives, waiting can be tiring. We get distracted, our initial excitement fades, and we can drift into a state of spiritual sleepiness. Life gets busy, challenges come up, and our focus can shift away from what's most important. Both the wise and the foolish slept. Being human means we get tired. The difference wasn't in their sleeping, but in their preparation before they slept. Then suddenly, at the darkest hour, at midnight, there was a cry. "Here is the bridegroom, come out to meet him." The moment everyone was waiting for had finally arrived. Imagine the sudden rush of adrenaline, the scrambling in the dark. Then all those virgins rose and trimmed their lamps. They all woke up and got ready to shine their lights. But this is where the lack of preparation becomes a crisis. The foolish virgins look at their lamps and panic sets in. Their flames are sputtering, dying out. They turn to the wise and say, "Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out." They realize their mistake, but now it's an emergency. The response of the wise bridesmaids might sound a bit harsh at first. They reply, "Since there will not be enough for us and for you, go rather to the dealers and buy for yourselves." Why didn't they just share? Well, this isn't a story about sharing oil. The oil represents something personal, something you can't borrow or transfer at the last minute. It represents our personal relationship with God, our spiritual readiness, the inner work of faith, character, and love that we cultivate over time. It's the daily choices, the quiet prayers, the time spent in God's Word. You can't get that from someone else in a crisis. It has to be your own. So the foolish virgins rush off in a desperate last-ditch effort to find what they should have secured long before. And while they were away, the most heartbreaking part of the story happens. And while they were going to buy, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the marriage feast, and the door was shut. The door was shut. Those words are so final. The wise, who had been prepared all along, were welcomed into the joy, the light, and the celebration. They were ready when the moment came, and they received their reward. A little later, the foolish virgins return. They knock on the door, crying out, "Lord, Lord, open to us." They missed the entrance. They were too late. And the bridegroom's reply is chilling. He says, "Truly I say to you, I do not know you." He didn't recognize them, not because he couldn't see their faces, but because they weren't truly part of his circle. Their lack of preparation revealed a lack of a real, enduring connection. Jesus concludes this powerful parable with a direct and urgent command. "Watch, therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour." This isn't a suggestion, it's a wake-up call. The story isn't meant to scare us, but to inspire us to live with a sense of purpose and readiness. So what does this mean for us right here, right now? The oil in our lamps is our personal, living relationship with God. It's not about just looking like a believer on the outside. It's about the inner reality of our faith. Are we spending time with Him? Are we allowing His Spirit to fill us and change us from the inside out? Are we building a foundation of faith that can withstand delays, distractions, and the long wait? This parable teaches us that spiritual preparedness is not a one-time event. It's a continuous, daily process. It's about cultivating our hearts, tending to our spiritual lives, and making sure our lamps are full, not just lit. We can't rely on the faith of our parents, our friends, or our pastor. It has to be our own. The good news is that it's never too late to start preparing. Unlike the foolish virgins who had to go find a dealer in the middle of the night, the source of our oil, God Himself, is always available. We can turn to Him today, right now, and begin to fill our lamps. We can start building that reserve of faith, love, and grace that will see us through. Don't wait for the midnight cry to realize your lamp is empty. Live each day with purpose, with your heart turned towards God, ready and waiting with joyful expectation for His return. Let's choose to be wise, to prepare our hearts, so that when the door opens, we'll be ready to enter the greatest celebration of all. Thank you so much for joining me today to explore this incredible story. If this message resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Stay watchful and stay blessed.